Good morning. Welcome to the garden. Isn't this a glorious day out there? Just absolutely perfect. Thanks for being here. You know, when Rob was talking about their wedding like some 38 years ago, I thought about ours. And we did something that I urge couples never to do. We memorized our vows. And so Mike said, I take you, Linda, to be my lawful wedded wife. And I said, I take you to be my lawful wedded wife. And his brother thought we could get off on a technicality, but it didn't work. That's been almost 50 years ago. So, at any rate, Gene Houston said, at the height of laughter, the universe is flung into a kaleidoscope of new possibilities. What she's saying is that when we laugh, it opens us up to things that we might never experience or never imagine or never dream of having. Laughter is a wonderful gift that I believe comes from God. There's a story in the Bible that I think introduces us to the idea that laughter is a gift and it's something we're to use to help us get through some of those tough points of life or just to get through life in general. There's a wonderful story, or at least I think it's a wonderful story, in Genesis, in the Old Testament, the Hebrew Scriptures, and we don't use the Old Testament quite that much here, but this story just seemed to fit. It's a story about Abraham and Sarah, who are getting quite old in their age and who have been childless to this point in time. The Bible passage, if you read it, is kind of okay. It's just kind of a Bible passage. But the theologian Frederick Buechner has written a rendition of this story that I think really captures the spirit of it. This is how it reads. The place to start is with a woman laughing. She's an old woman, and after a lifetime in the desert, her face is cracked and rutted like a 6-month drought. She hunches her shoulders around her ears and starts to shake. She squinties her eyes shut, and her laughter is all china teeth and wheeze and tears running down as she rocks back and forth in her kitchen chair. She is laughing because she is pushing 91 hard and has just been told she is going to have a baby. Even though it was an angel who told her, she can't control herself, and her husband can't control himself either. He keeps a straight face a few seconds longer than she does, but then he ends by cracking up too. The old woman's name is Sarah, of course, and the old man's name is Abraham, and they are laughing at the idea of a baby being born in the geriatric ward and Medicare picking up the tab. Well, I like the way he tells that story because that is at least how we find that story. And Sarah does indeed, according to Genesis, have a baby boy, and the boy is named Isaac. And Isaac, do you know what it means in Hebrew? He laughs. God laughs. And so there is the humor that comes from God. Sarah said, God has brought me joy and laughter. Everyone who hears about it will laugh with me. So Sarah and Abraham used that gift of laughter to help them get through all of their journeys in life, and especially as something that seemed totally unlikely, totally impossible, that opened them up to that possibility. I do believe that laughter is a gift that comes to us from God. We talk all the time about we're made in God's image. Where would we find laughter if it wasn't something we inherited from God? That's why we laugh, and we all have that gift. We all have that ability, but I wonder how often we really use it. You know, experts tell us that children laugh 300 to 400 times a day. Adults, 30 to 40, maybe. What happens? What happens between the time we are children and the time we turn into adults? What happens to us in the course of life? Of course, part of what happens is that the heaviness of the world settles in on us. We hear the news, and most of the time it's bad news, and news about violence and terrorism and all kinds of wars, and it just pushes us down, and it breaks us apart in some ways. And we need laughter. We need laughter to be able to cope a little bit more and to lighten up just a little bit more. You know, laughter does a lot of good things. If we can up our quotient of laughter on a daily basis, it will make a huge difference for us. One of the ways it helps us is physically. Our physical well-being is improved when we laugh. It improves our immune system. It raises the heart rate. It helps the lungs exercise a little bit more. It reduces stress. And it also tends to lessen anger in us. And it's said that in the workplace, laughter can make a tremendous difference. For one thing, it makes fewer days off from sickness, and that means fewer insurance claims, and it means higher productivity. So it's really a win-win. There's a project out there called Laughter Wellness, and it says that laughter not only helps us physically, it helps us mentally and emotionally as well, because it can break that cycle of negativity that we get into. It can improve our mood and get us out of state of discouragement or depression. It helps us come up with new solutions, better solutions, and it also helps us be a lot more creative. But one of the greatest gifts that comes as a result of laughter is that it draws us closer to one another. It sort of breaks down the barriers that might be existing between us, and it helps us get closer and feel closer, and creates a linkage, a bond that simply doesn't go away. It's the basis upon which we can build a closer and closer connection. That's the greatest gift about it. And those who study this whole thing say that this is called social verbalization. That we have that way of expressing laughter when we hear it, says that we're being sociable, because most of the time laughter occurs when we're in contact with other people. We're 30 times more likely to laugh with others than we are if we're alone. And only 10 to 20% of our laughter actually comes from jokes. Most of it just comes from being together with people and having situations that erupt in one way or another that help us laugh and enjoy the time we spend together. The study also said that women laugh more than men, but men are the ones who evoke the laughs. They are the laugh getters most of the time. You can check that out for yourself. And I thought about this linkage when our daughter told us about something that happened with our granddaughter. She had gotten sick toward the end of school and was home for a couple days and had a sinus infection and a temp, so she couldn't go. And once the meds started working, she started feeling better, and she's a pretty active kid. And so she said to her mom one day, "My sinuses hurt when I hang upside down." And so her mom said to her, "Then don't hang upside down." Made perfect sense to her. But Aaron shared that story with us. And when I shared it with Mike, we broke out in gales of laughter. Now, it doesn't sound that funny when we're just telling it, but what it did was remind us of the connection that our daughter and we have. Because when she was growing up, one of Mike's favorite shows, this will tell you a lot about both our age and our level of sophistication. One of his favorite shows was Hee Haw. Okay? I've met some other Hee Haw fans, anyway. But one of the sketches that was on Hee Haw was a guy who went to the doctor who said, "Doc, my arm hurts when I do this." And the doctor said, "Then don't do that." Makes perfect sense. Well, it's hard to tell and convey the humor from it, but it's important to realize that humor does break down barriers, draws us closer, and creates a linkage that just simply doesn't go away. That's years old, but it does tie us together in its own unique way. Laughter also opens our spirits, opens our souls to receive God's love into our heart. It can fill us with hope and compassion. And when we open our hearts to one another, when we share laughter with one another and we open up, that makes us open to God's Spirit. And then we can begin to trust God more and more in our life. So laughter is extremely important. And one of the ways it's important is that we need to learn to laugh at ourselves. Sometimes we take ourselves entirely too seriously. I watched a YouTube video that had a female comedian who was Muslim, Palestinian, and had cerebral palsy. And she used the fact that she was a female, Muslim, Palestinian, and had cerebral palsy to cause laughter. And there were times, I suppose, that people knowing all those things would have been uncomfortable. But she broke down the barriers because she turned it on herself. Now, I know that comedians aren't always the happiest people in the world inside, but at least for those moments, she helped others have a little more empathy, a little more understanding, and could connect in a powerful way, in an important way. Well, we need to do the same thing with ourselves, because sometimes we do let heaviness weigh us down, and we don't laugh. We don't experience that. We don't see the silliness of some of the things we do. We can't laugh when we're awkward, and if we could just lighten up ever so small amount, it would make a huge difference. So, okay, we've been talking about laughter, and there have been a few little out there, but I think it's time that we practice some laughter. Now, one of the things I read was something that talks about the various types of laughter. And one of the things it named was a chuckle. Let's hear a chuckle. Okay. Hey, you're good. You're practicing. Let's hear a chuckle. Okay, and then it said there was a giggle. Everybody's a hee, isn't it? You know, all right, that was a giggle. Was that a giggle? That qualified? And anyway, and the last one was a cackle. You're really good. We should do this again. That all brought me back to something that happened a lot of years ago now when my former colleague Cindy Bates and I were leading a women's retreat over at St. Luke's. And the topic was humor and laughter. And we'd found this thing that described what happens to us physically when we get into a belly laugh. Now, Cindy was the actress in the whole thing, and I was the narrator of it, but I would like us to think about what happens with the belly laugh. So, Drew, come on down here. Yay, Drew. Told him there's an actor in him, I can tell it. Have a seat. All right, the nose does not help tell this story. Okay. All right, so watch. This is how it happens. Now, think about it. And you are welcome to practice your own belly laugh if you like, just to be sure you can. Okay, the first thing you do when you start a belly laugh is you kind of squint your eyes almost closed. And then you open your mouth. Well, don't lean your head back yet. And then you lean your head back. And then you start breathing in and out really fast. And then you start rocking back and forth in your chair. And then you slap your knee. And then you add the verbalization to it. And that's a belly laugh. Now, I know some of you are thinking this is total silliness, and I'm sorry if that's the case, but you laughed, didn't you? That's the point. Laughter is good for the soul. It's good for our connections and our relationships. It's good for life. It's good for us. Mort Walker said, 7 days without laughter makes one weak. And indeed it does. So let's laugh.